Broadcasting from the Geyer Studio, this is WMCO New Concord, celebrating 61 years on air. Make sure to check us out on the web at orbitmediaonline.com. Coming to you from the campus of Muskingum University, we are the Orbit 90.7.
From the 90.7 WMCO Geyer Studio, you're tuned in to the Muskie Sports Blast, where we take a deep dive into the Muskie Pond to learn more about the impact the Muskie athletes have on and off the playing field. Always surprising, always fun. This is the Muskie Sports Blast on 90.7 The Orbit.
Hello and welcome to the Muskie Sports Blast here on the Orbit 90.7. I'm Gracie Collins and I am joined tonight by the Muskingum women's basketball team. I have two seniors tonight, Tanner Wirth and Sarah Miller. So with the season approaching the end and graduation coming so soon, this is probably the last time WMCO will get to sit down with the two of you. So Sarah, I'll start with you. How are you feeling now that graduation is getting closer and closer?
It's definitely crazy. People always say it's going to go really fast, and I never really believed it. But it's definitely exciting, too, just to kind of go on with the next steps of my life.
And what about you, Tanner? Are you excited, scared, maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, I got feelings like all of them, scared, excited, all of it. Like Sarah said, it goes by so fast, just like everyone told us. And yeah, but I'm excited to start the next chapter.
Yes, I'm not quite there, have one semester left, but I can definitely agree to it just going so fast. But both of you have done so much for the program, and I'm definitely going to get back to that. But before I get too sappy, I do want to talk about some of the recent games. So your team is currently sitting at a record of 9-13 and a conference record of 4-11. Sarah, how are you and your team feeling about this record?
Definitely happy just with how far we've come. Over the past couple of years, our record has not been close to what it is now, but also hungry for more. I know next year the goal is to just keep improving and getting better at winning more games in the OAC.
Very well said. And what do you think, Tanner? Do you feel like your record reflects what the team deserves?
Yes and no. We hope to get to double-digit wins, so that would be a huge accomplishment. But just looking back over the last couple of years with Muskingum basketball here, it's a huge accomplishment either way, having the amount of wins we do right now. But we'd like to get to double digits.
Yeah, I definitely think that is a great goal, and that might not seem like a huge thing to some people, but the fact that we know where you're coming from and just the improvement that's come from just last season, has really shown where you've come from and how much the team has improved this season. And looking at the team's overall stats right now, you're shooting at 33.5% from the three-point line, 73% from the free throw line, and 39% field goal percentage. Tanner, is there a certain part of the stats that your team has been actively working on in practices?
Definitely shooting. Something that we need to improve on is just rebounding, I'd say. We struggle with that. We give up a lot of O-boards, so we focus on that a lot.
So looking at your last game, the Muskies played away versus Mount Union and fell 84-71. Sarah, what was the game plan going into this matchup?
One of our biggest things was definitely getting out to shooters and making sure that we find people transition and boxing out. We have been struggling with boxing out in the past, like Tanner said, about rebounding. So making sure that we're all finding bodies, not letting them get second chance points.
And Tanner, what do you feel went wrong for the Muskies to cause that loss against Mount Union?
Just silly errors. We just didn't execute a game plan like Sarah just said. Turnovers and just different things. One thing led to another. We couldn't really come back. We let them go on a good run, and we just didn't come back from it.
So I want to end the Wilmington talk on a positive note. So Tanner, I'll start with you. What can you and your team take from that game to allow you to improve in the future?
Just our preparation, I would say. Just understanding our personnel as well as theirs.
And what about you, Sarah? What did the team learn from the game to allow you to improve in the upcoming matches?
Definitely just how important communication is. If we have a couple people, like 1 or 2 people that don't talk on defense for a possession, it definitely changes how the possession's going to go. So just how important that is, and just playing as a team as a whole, making sure that we use each other's strengths to their advantage.
So the season is coming to an end with only one conference game left, and then tournament play. Tanner, do you have any end of the season goals for your team?
Yeah, get to double digits. It'd be awesome to make a tournament run next week. That's exciting that we get to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what about you, Sarah?
I definitely agree. Just trying to get to the 10-0, or not 10-0, but double digits, and just to finish out the season strong.
Mm-hmm. So looking forward, your next matchup is against Ohio Northern. Like I said, the last conference game of the season, and your first time playing them this season due to the last one being canceled. Play them this Saturday, home at 2 in the afternoon. They're sitting at 9-6 in the conference. So, Tanner, what is the game plan, and how is your team preparing for this tough game?
Just taking the errors we've made in our last few games. Like Sarah said, communication is huge for us. I think we have a lot of talent, and if we could just talk and use each other's strengths in these upcoming games, then we can be really successful.
And what are you thinking, Sarah? What do you think you need in order to be able to take that win from Ohio Northern?
Oh, ONU is definitely a very physical team, so trying to match their intensity and their physicality.
Absolutely. So Ohio Northern's three-point percentage is about 5% lower than yours, but one thing that they do excel in is allowing less points than the Muskies in a game. So first off, Tanner, is three-pointers something that your team plans to use to their advantage?
Yeah, for sure. Just something that we need to work on is if we're not hitting like threes, we just got to be better about attacking, kind of adjusting to it. But yeah, for sure.
And going off of these stats, as a season whole, Ohio Northern typically allows 21 points less than the Muskies do. So Sarah, you know that your team is known for slightly allowing more points. What is your team going to try to do to have better defense than ONU this weekend?
Definitely bringing communication and really focusing on that. And I think if we stay just as physical as them, it will surprise them. And I think it'll help with our offense as well.
And the Muskies are kind of known for performing a lot better at home, sitting at 6-5 at home and 3-8 away. Tanner, are you worried at all about the last conference game being away?
No, at all. No, not at all. I don't know. No. I mean, it'd be awesome, like, playing at home. It's always, like, an advantage, but no.
So, looking even more forward to OAC tournament play, it's to my understanding that because your team is 8th in the conference, you'll be hosting a team on Monday that will be announced this weekend. And I was just looking through the history, and I saw that, the last few years, the team hasn't really made it to the tournament, and now you even get to host a game. So, Sarah, how does that feel?
It's definitely really exciting. I think it just kind of shows how much work we've put in over the couple of years trying to get this program back up and what coaches wanted for this program.
And one more question about tournament play. Tanner, I know you said you really want to get your team to double digits, but is there any certain goal that the team has going into tournament play other than that?
Just keep advancing forward, working together. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break before we get into some more basketball questions. So stay tuned for that. This is the Muskie Sports Blast here on WMCO 90.7.
NCARD's mission is to engage, inspire, and educate the community, whether that is through after-school activities, health and fitness classes, or through community involvement programs.
Thank you for tuning in to the Muskie Sports Blast here on 90.7 WMCO. Stay in the orbit with Muskingum University Sports by following the Orbit Media Sports Twitter page at Orbit907 Sports. Time to get back to the Muskie Sports Blast here on 90.7 WMCO.
Welcome back to the Muskie Sports Blast here on the Orbit 90.7. I'm Gracie Collins, and I am joined by the Muskingum women's basketball team. I have two seniors tonight, Tanner Wirth and Sarah Miller, and we've been talking a lot about these upcoming games, and I just want to give one last credit to how awesome this season has been. So, Tanner, I'll start with you. What do you feel like changed from last season to this one to allow you to be so much more successful?
I think from the start, just all the normalcy this year, because, COVID last year, tired of talking about it, but just, I don't know, things being more normal, having like a normal preseason and everything like that has helped.
And what about you, Sarah? Do you feel like anything really sparked a change in the team to allow you to make such great improvements?
I think having a couple of people that have been in the program with Coach for a few years, like me, Tanner, Casey, we know the expectations that Coach wants, and we were able to help the freshmen come in and kind of understand those roles and kind of go into it easier.
Well, I am so excited to see how you finish out the season. Hopefully the team is able to pull out a win and hit those double digits like you were talking about. And now I want to get to know the two of you as players a little bit better. So, Sarah, what do you think is your biggest role on this team, whether that's defense, rebounds, shooting, really anything? What do you think you contribute most to this team?
Definitely being a leader on the team. I think a lot of people kind of look up to me for just different things throughout basketball, and just being a presence in the paint, taking care of the other team's defenders in the post.
And what would you say is yours, Tanner?
This year I try to focus on more of being a vocal leader, I would say, playing wise, just getting the ball up the floor and attacking and kicking. And
so when did you know that you wanted to play college basketball? I'll start with you, Sarah.
I feel like I've been playing it forever. Or, sorry, you meant college basketball. I thought you meant basketball in general. Sorry.
From when you started, how did you know that you were ready to take it to that next level?
Well, when I played at AAU, I started getting recruited by colleges, and I never thought about it until then. And then once that started happening, I just thought like it would be weird to just stop playing basketball once I went to college, and it just seemed like the best thing for me.
And what about you, Tanner? How did you know that you wanted to play basketball in college?
I don't know. I feel like I kind of just knew for forever. Like, I don't know what life would be like without basketball. Mm-hmm. So.
And then, Sarah, after you decided you knew you wanted to play basketball in college, how did you find Muskingum and know it was right for you?
Visiting campus, I really just liked the campus because it was so small. It reminded me of home just because it was more of like a homey feel, and you got to know a lot of people on campus. I think you get close to people pretty easy here, and the campus is really pretty. So it was definitely a comfortable place to go to. Yeah,
that's definitely a plus. And now, Tanner, I know your story of coming here is a little different since you did transfer here junior year, but how did you find Muskingum and know that this is the place that you wanted to transfer to?
Yeah, so when transferring, I had the opportunity to come here and play with my best friend Olivia Lang, a former player. She graduated last year early, and so that was really exciting and just kind of drew me here.
So I know I said in the beginning that I wanted to come back to talking about you both as seniors, and Sarah, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from being a part of the basketball team, and how can you carry that on into your life after graduation?
Definitely just all of the lessons that I've learned throughout basketball, how to put in hard work and how to overcome adversity. Using that in my job and my next career path, it's all going to be able to help me to be more successful.
And what about you, Tanner?
I'd say the same as Sarah, just how to overcome adversity, and just life throws a lot of curveballs at you, and basketball has really helped with that.
Yes, for sure. Well, I just wanted to say, for what it's worth, I've really seen how much you've both helped build and contribute to this program. And as you were saying, you feel like that's really what helped improve the team, is having these, vets on the team, such as the two of you. And, I've had just about every single one of your teammates on here, and they've had nothing but amazing things to say about the seniors here on MSB. So it's really been awesome to follow your season this past year. And now I'm excited to kind of close out the basketball talk. And after this break, we are going to get into some of the fun questions. So after this quick break, we will get into those. My name is Gracie Collins, and you're listening to WMCO, your home for fighting muskie sports.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience with
Thank you for tuning in to the Muskie Sports Blast here on 90.7 WMCO. Stay in the orbit with Muskingum University Sports by following the Orbit Media Sports Twitter page at Orbit907 Sports. Time to get back to the Muskie Sports Blast here on 90.7 WMCO.
Welcome back to the Muskie Sports Blast here on the Orbit 90.7. I'm Gracie Collins, joined tonight by the Muskingum women's basketball team, Tanner Wirth and Sarah Miller. And it's time to get into some fun questions. First couple are, still about some basketball moments, especially with the two of you being seniors. So, Sarah, I'll start with you. What is overall your favorite part about being a member of the Muskingum basketball team?
Definitely just being with the team. We have a lot of funny memories, especially just in the locker room before and after practices.
And what about you, Tanner?
I agree. My favorite thing is just the relationships I've created with all my teammates. Love them so much.
And then going a little bit deeper, is there a specific memory that is just your favorite memory that you've made here as a part of the basketball team?
I don't know if I could pick one specific memory. There's just so many good ones that we've had over the past couple years.
And what about you, Tanner?
Same as Sarah. Sorry, I don't mean to be boring. I don't have a favorite one.
It's hard
There's
on
a lot
the spot.
of good ones. Yeah.
So, Sarah, who are the people that you looked up to or that inspired you to pursue basketball?
I'd probably say my mom and dad. They just kind of always pushed me to kind of try new things, get out of my comfort zone. No one else in my family, like my siblings, played basketball, so it was something new for me, something that I just kind of picked up on my own.
And what about you, Tanner? Who did you look up to when it came to basketball, or who inspired you?
I would say my parents as well as my older sister. Just growing up and watching her play and traveling to all the AAU tournaments and all of that just was awesome.
And now kind of drifting away from just basketball, Sarah, what's your major, or if you have any minors too?
Athletic training. I don't have any minors.
And what about you, Tanner?
I'm a marketing and management major with a minor in sports administration.
And Sarah, do you have a favorite class that you've taken at Muskingum and why?
I do. Probably my drawing 1 class. It's a good class. Either that class or any of my AT classes I enjoyed.
And how about you, Tanner?
I'm in drawing 1 right now, and I agree. It's a fun class, but I think ceramics would top it. I really like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have not heard much about ceramics, but sounds fun. And Sarah, do you have a favorite movie?
I don't have like one specific favorite movie, but I really am a fan of Marvel movies.
Oh, okay. And what about you, Tanner?
I don't have a favorite movie either, but a show that I've watched like 4 times, like a Netflix show, Vampire Diaries. I love Vampire Diaries. So
I do too. And Sarah, what's the last thing that you watched on TV?
I'm watching Shameless right now, but I just finished catching up on Grey's Anatomy a couple weeks ago, so I'm waiting for it to come back out. Love Grey's Anatomy.
And what about you, Tanner? What is the last thing that you had on your TV?
I don't know. It was probably Vampire Diaries.
Probably. Sarah, what is one of your most proud accomplishments?
Right now, I got accepted into PT school, so as of right now, that's my biggest accomplishment.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And what about you, Tanner? What is one of your most proud accomplishments?
I would just say making it 4 years through college. Not that I didn't think I would, but just like it's finally here and graduating.
Yeah, I mean, definitely something to be proud of. And Sarah, if you were to play any other sport than basketball, which sport would you want to try out?
Maybe softball.
Have you ever played?
No, my sister did, and one time when she was younger, they needed more people, so I almost helped play. My dad was like helping me like catch softballs, but it never happened. But I was prepared.
And what about you, Tanner? If you could try out any other sport than basketball, what would you want to try?
I would play volleyball for sure. I played in high school, and it was super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. Sarah, what professional sports teams do you support?
The Cavs, the Browns, the Indians, anything Ohio.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of Cleveland.
Yeah.
What about you, Tanner?
All the same for me.
Great. That's exactly what I like to hear. Sarah, if you could be a part of any TV show, what would it be and why?
Grey's Anatomy. I just, all the characters on there are awesome. And I don't know, such a good show.
Hopefully you would be like a surgeon, I would hope.
Yeah, not a patient.
What about you, Tanner?
Vampire Diaries. Would for sure be a vampire.
Okay, so this one is a little bit difficult, but Sarah, if you had to describe your teammate right next to you in 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
First word, crazy. Second word, funny and smart. She's smart.
Oh, how sweet. And Tanner, what 3 words will you use to describe Sarah?
Team mom, number 1. Funny, I guess. Maybe not as funny as me, but no, I'm just kidding. And smart. She's really smart.
And Sarah, what is your favorite and your least favorite foods?
My favorite food is probably just cheese pizza. And it always has been. And then least favorite food, meatloaf or seafood enchiladas. I can't.
And what about you, Tanner? What is your favorite and least favorite foods?
I would say my favorite food is probably steak. I grew up on a farm, so I love steak. And least favorite, any seafood. I don't eat seafood.
See, I'm a vegetarian, so I kind of the opposite. Sarah, if you could time travel, would you go into the future or the past, and why?
I'd probably go into the future just to see where I'm at.
And what about you, Tanner? Would you go into the future or the past?
I would go with future too.
For the same reason?
Yeah.
Sarah, where is the most beautiful place you've ever been?
I'd probably say Tennessee. Me and my family went, and we went hiking, and it was really nice just to hike in the mountains. It was cool.
And what about you, Tanner? What is the most beautiful place you've ever been to?
I would say Marco Island. My family went there last summer, and it was really pretty.
And Sarah, have you ever had a nickname, or if you've had multiple, what's your favorite and why?
My nickname, literally in high school too, I was called the team mom, and I'm not sure how that sticks and still is going on now. But that's the main nickname I have.
That's so funny. I've actually heard that multiple times during MSB. Every time I bring up the seniors, they're like, "Well, Sarah's the team mom." So, and what about you, Tanner? Have you ever had any nicknames?
I mean, since I've been in college, I just get called Tan a lot, but yeah.
Sarah, what is your favorite holiday?
Christmas, I feel like I have to say, because, I mean, it's just so jolly.
What about you, Tanner?
Christmas for sure.
And then I have one last question before I close the night out, and I'll start with you, Sarah. What is your biggest fear?
Probably like a ton of bugs coming at me, like spiders and all that. I'm not a fan of bugs.
Me either. And what about you, Tanner? What is your biggest fear?
That's hard. I don't know. My biggest fear, I think I would go with bugs too. Like, I hate spiders and stuff. Sorry. I don't know.
All right, and that is all for tonight's Muskie Sports Blast. Thank you so much, Sarah and Tanner, our two seniors, for joining tonight. The Muskegon women's basketball team's next game is this Saturday. It is going to be away at Ohio Northern at 2, their last conference game of the year. And my name is Gracie Collins, and you are listening to The Orbit 90.7 FM.
Thank you for listening to the Muskie Sports Blast on 90.7 WMCO. Make sure you tune in to the Muskie Sports Blast at 8 p.m. every weeknight except Wednesdays to see what's happening in Muskie sports. Also, check out orbitmediaonline.com for a full list of broadcasts scheduled. This is WMCO, your home for fighting Muskie sports.